So we can also look back then, how can we apply this in a way in our lives? Prayer is so essential for Jesus, and he was without sin. How much more we need to spend time with God in silent prayer, not only in common worship, which is so wonderful, but also in the silence of our heart with God, our Father. Every day, for a long time, to get to know Him, and also to be able to discover within ourselves that we have there hidden the desire for what is really God's will. That's the deepest that is in us. And as we discern what is in our heart, and we remove the layers of fears and attachments and distractions, all of that, we can discover that the will of God is not something up there. The will of God for me is inside of my heart. I have kind of a compass towards the will of God, which is the will to make me a full person, to make me grow, to make me the unique person I was born to be. And then, once we do that, what we are as Christians, what we are is Christ in the making. We are becoming attuned with the Father like Jesus. And from there is when whatever we do will flow as it was in Jesus. He knew, for instance, at the time of the death of Lazarus, he was told Lazarus is dying. He waited for 2 days until he was dead and buried. In our human understanding, any person would thought, well, the best you can do for a friend is just run and save him from death. But Jesus was focused on the Father with his own compass on the will of the Father. And he knew that this was not the time to go, but to wait 2 days for the greater glory of the Father. So, even the best of good things can get in the way of doing the will of the Father. We have to ponder that in our lives and do not what seems to be the best, but what is really in a discerning, reflexive, and prayerful way, discover what is really the will of the Father for me, for growing into becoming Christ. And then, when difficulties come in life, and we all have them, we call them the cross, and has so many faces. But then will be, if we have prepared ourselves with our daily communication with the Father in prayer and action, when the time comes with sickness, with failure, with all the difficulties, will be our time of the cross. And we will know that if we abandon ourselves in trust in our Father's hands, we too will be crossing our birth canal into divinity, transforming ourselves and our world with our suffering, with our sickness, with our uselessness, with all our pain. If we give that to God, if we are able to accept what we cannot change and in peace give it back to God, trusting in Him, because he will transform that into fullness of life and resurrection on earth as it is in heaven. We will have now a few moments of silent prayer for allowing personal reflection on whatever may have struck you of this, or also we will have a couple of questions to help you a personal reflection now.
And the Lord said, ask. And I said, what shall I ask? And the Lord said, ask of me humility. Humility and patience to wait upon the Lord, to leave off your own striving and trust all to his word, in meekness and in lowliness of mind and heart and soul, in quietness and confidence that God is in control. This gift from God, this grace divine, to humbly wait with lowly mind, forbearing grace and contrite heart, with faith and love to do our part. God grant us grace, your children here, in humbleness our cross to bear. Let Christ our good example be, and in all our weakness turn to thee. Lord, help us also to recall how when you sent your best of all, that in a manger mean and dim the golden age was ushered in. And when the people sought a king, you sent a shepherd boy to bring salvation by a stone and sling, and caused the multitude to sing. So Lord, in heaven to you we cry, and beat our breasts and weep and sigh, and ask for this one saving grace, in humbleness to seek your face. For this we know that God is close to humble hearts that Jesus chose. The devil too is well aware a broken heart he can't come near. The one and only thing that can't be hurt by him, on hatred bent, a broken spirit and contrite heart. For God has promised and does his part. The angels too all gather round to guard that one from evil's wound. But more than that, the Lord above is pleased to give in all his love all that he has, scriptures have told. There's nothing now will he withhold to him who humbly seeks his face, a broken heart, unmeasured grace. Lord, help us then in fear to turn, away from pride and meekness learn, from Bethlehem's babe where once before, those humble hearts now to adore.